Hey everybody, welcome to a brand new video. Today, it'll be the trailer analysis for Disventure Camp All-Stars Episode 8. Before this video begins, a few things to note. The background footage is owned by Odd Nation Cartoons, not me. This is just my personal analyses, opinions on the scenes. If you have different ones, that's completely fine. In my videos, I do sections in order to maintain organization and simplicity. The sections for today's video are trailer analysis, who's going next, conclusion. Without further delays, this video shall begin with the first section, trailer analysis.
I knew it! We're all gonna die!
I'm starting here with the challenge, since there is no morning events within the trailer, nor is there any from after the challenge. So, to begin, I'll be trying to dive into this challenge as a whole. First off, I don't know how they managed to get the budget, but this I feel isn't VR, and is actually up in space, as we see the production not in the usual production tent, which I feel like they would be if it wasn't in actual space. They wouldn't show them in the trailer. The main reason I'm mentioning this, as it limits what the challenge can really be, and also proves how Crystal may be falling back into old ways thanks to Derek's influence, since going into space could be extremely dangerous. I mean, there's a reason Aiden thought he was going to die. Anyway, back to the challenge. My guess is this takes some inspiration from Among Us, having to do tasks in a large spaceship in order to get the clues needed in order to start up the space pod shown here. To be able to win the challenge, or they may have to use shown space pods to get back to Camp Tapiska. I'm leaning more towards them not having to do that though. As shown here, the pods are also color-coded to the teams they are for. The next scene could happen at pretty much any time in the episode, as I would think Crystal would have screens like that all over the space ship in order to communicate with the campers. However, this could also be here explaining the challenge at the beginning depending. The following scene showcases the Cyan team a bit scared of the coming challenge, with Gret asking some questions about it. I'm hoping for some more Gret focus this episode. I'm excited to see where her storyline heads. For the rest of this trailer analysis section, I'm going to be doing an order of Magenta team, then Yellow team, then Cyan team, then production in terms of discussion. Which leads to the first Magenta team scene, where Eli looks excited and knowledgeable about all this, and it gives me a question. Does Among Us exist in the Disventure Camp universe, and does Eli play it often? I don't know, just partially curious. Anyway, I feel like this episode is going to give Eli some time to shine, given this challenge is right up her alley, since I'm guessing she's played a bit of space-themed games, which will help her and her team out lots here. The following scene showcases Eli discussing more about the given challenge, space video games. Afterwards, the next scene shows Yellow with Yul pointing towards Alec. I'm theorizing that this is when the Yellow team is making a game plan, with Yul pointing out Alec for part of such game plan. Alec is a bit startled about it. I'm just thinking he didn't expect Yul to suggest him specifically. The following scene shows Gabby happy with some arcades behind her. Gabby's ponytail first off is just stunning, and seeing Gabby back with her happy attitude after what happened last episode is just great. The next scene shows the entire Cyan team within this arcade room, which shows an animal plushie machine. I'm thinking that is what Gabby got so excited about here, as that is where she first is as showcased here. Tess is with Gabby, maybe telling Gabby about how she's planning to confront Ellie soon, and Aiden, Tom and Ellie look like they are looking for something. Since we see later on that Tom is holding a piece of paper, maybe one of the tasks they were given was to find that piece of paper as a hint to the next steps they need to take within the challenge. Also, the second Eli sees this, she is going to be in video game heaven. Moving right along, we now have the production with Derek here. Though, I want to believe this is him looking at Trevor or talking about Trevor, and I think it'd be cool. After further thought, it's likely him appreciating the treatment he's been getting from Crystal. Speaking of Crystal, the next scene shows Crystal thinking maybe Derek gave some suggestions to make the challenge even better, gave suggestions for future challenges, and she is considering them, thinking about how to add them. It could also be her thinking about what Derek said. Overall, I'm a bit intrigued, but also still trying to figure out how Oliver disappeared. Going back to Magenta team, Eli pulls out a keycard from her pocket. How she got it is likely completing a task and then walking around, trying to figure out what to do next. Since it is shown in later scenes within the trailer that the keycards can be used to open doors, they may be coming across a door and are figuring out such information. The next scene interests me a lot, given it is an Alec and Yul interaction, and we haven't got much of that just yet here. It could be about the alliance, maybe about the challenge? Doubting it's about Gret at all. Excited for this come the episode. Rhea likely notices interrupts the conversation with something about the challenge task at hand, with Yul somehow suffering, as the only way Alec and Rhea would laugh this hard is if Yul is suffering. And honestly, I'll probably be joining them come this episode. Coming up is Cyan with the piece of paper I mentioned earlier, with Tom reading it. Probably something about the next task, trying to find something. Once finished reading, they head out. Going back to Magenta team, they manage to find a screen of some kind, with Eli and Jake debating who should have it, eventually pulling it from one another and Eli letting Jake fall, making Ashley angry as she tries to calm this down. Now that Fiora has been robbed, the new drama is going to be Eli versus Jake. Guess them being friends in episode 6 got thrown into the trash. Otherwise, Ashley probably gets so fed up and tells Jake and Eli they all need to work together in order to win the challenge, with Jake and Eli listening to it. Even though annoyed at one another, as shown in the expressions, they decide to deal with it for now, as to make Ashley happy just to finish the challenge. Returning to Yellow Team, Alec is using a key card on the door to open it, with Rhea with him. They're probably going to the next part of their mission challenge, and the reason they aren't with Yul Regret is I believe they spilled up to cover more ground, as showcased in the next scene with Yul and Gret. Both are seen to be doing the challenge, except they look a bit trapped, lost. Interesting, going back to Cyan, it's shown Ellie being mad and Gabby being concerned. Could this scene have happened after Ellie and Tessa's confrontation? I'm guessing no for now. I think she's just mad that the challenge isn't going her way, as Aiden suggests something in the scene, probably to help out in the challenge. Back to Magenta, we see Jake with a ladder. I'm thinking Eli and Jake had a huge argument that led Jake to separate from Eli and Ashley. Now he's trying to do the challenge, a task, going back to Cyan for a second, so the story makes more sense going forward. Tom places a code onto the door, allowing it to fully open. Notice that he has the iPad tablet, likely that's where he found the code used. Both Aiden and Tom are excited, happy, with Ellie just flat out frowning. This girl has not been in a good mood. Anyway, here's what I'm thinking is happening next. Ellie needs to do her daily bad deed, and we know that Aiden somehow gets separated and stuck with Jake. What if this is Ellie's doing? What if she, while the three are walking, makes it to where Aiden gets separated and purposefully sticks him with Jake to cause some drama and to make him pay for calling her out the previous episode? There are other ways where Aiden could get separated and go to Jake, but I feel since Ellie's in her villain era, she would likely do that. Going to Aiden and Jake, I am so interested to see how this plays out. Something I find off is that they aren't fighting a storm, and that, it seems, peaceful. This won't last long at all. I'm guessing once Aiden finds the truth of Jake getting out, James, all heck breaks loose. But I also feel like they'll form a quick truce to get out of there. Aiden also seems to be mostly scared of this challenge, so that'll be interesting. Heading back to Yellow, I don't know what Rhea and Alec did, but whatever it was caused chaos and fear. They might have done a task wrong, causing something to be strongly at risk. We also see Gret volunteer to do something. She could be coming into where Alec and Rhea are and manage to help save whatever happened by volunteering. It would finally give Gret a moment to shine, and would be so cool to see. Going back to Cyan, Aiden is pointing up, likely found an exit of some kind, allowing Jake and Aiden to go their separate ways. Aiden goes back to the Cyan team, while Jake goes back with the toolbox, which is likely the last task for Magenta. The three run fast with the tools, heading to the final task with Ashley completes by cutting the wire, which ends the trailer here, finishing this trailer analysis. With this section finished, we can move on to the next section of the video. Who's going next?
I knew it! I knew it! We're all gonna die!
When it comes to who's going next, I don't see Magenta losing at all, especially after the trailer. And even if they did, it's fully obvious it'd be Eli going home, as Ashley wouldn't break a promise, plus Jake and Ashley have been a duo since the start. Since there hasn't been a team swap, I suppose these three will manage to make it to the merge. When it comes to Yellow, I'm guessing it'd be Rhea. First off, it's 100% going to be a tie between someone from the Rhea Alec duo and Yul Regret. I'm thinking it'll be Yul vs Rhea. Alec and Rhea laugh at any point Yul is suffering at this point. Plus, if they were going to save Connor, they were going to vote for Yul. So that to me confirms them voting Yul if they lose. For Yul Regret, until Gret finds out the truth, she is a loyal Yul follower. Since Yul doesn't have as much bad beef with Alec as he does Rhea, he would want to vote Rhea, which Gret would follow. This dude only makes decisions on how petty he is. So even if voting out Alec was a smarter option, he would not listen for a second. Moving on to the Cyan team, which really is a toss-up. To who I view unable to go, I'd say Tom, since this Jake and Tom plot will never end. The rest I feel have at least a little risk. Starting with Aiden, I could see the girls teaming up to eliminate him. Plus, given his interactions with Jake, he could figure out what Jake did to James and that confrontation could happen. Giving the last remaining plot, Aiden has to be removed. I originally thought he was having an underdog arc, but nothing in that merit has happened for episodes on end. This could also partially apply to Rhea with her redemption arc. Going on to Tess and Ellie, I'm grouping the two together due to the confrontation. The trailer kinda hides these two. We don't get to see the confrontation at all, and for me, if the two could go is dependent on how that confrontation shakes out. Say it ends badly, Tess could be more at risk. Say it ends badly, Aiden could be more at risk. We'll just have to see. Going on to Gabby, she's finally doing something. She could sacrifice herself for Ellie, maybe causing Ellie to realize what she lost, the path she's gone down. And since it's confirmed that Ellie values Gabby over the money, there's no way Gabby could get eliminated by an Ellie betrayal. Honestly, I do still view her at risk a bit, since if they rush the angst she could go here, but even then, the possibility of a non-elimination still remains high here, especially given all the plots going on and such. It'd be interesting to finally see a twist this episode, since some of y'all have pointed that there hasn't been many if any at all this season. With this section done, the next section can begin, the conclusion.
I knew it! I knew it! We're all gonna die!
What are your thoughts, theories on the trailer of episode 8? I would love to see in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope to see you again on the channel and have a wonderful day, night, bye.